This is Lewis Hart for the Ring magazine. Delighted today to be joined with lethal Leigh Wood here in London ahead of the fight with Anto Cacace. Finally, we have some fight news for Leigh Wood. Yeah, how's things, mate? How are you? Must be delighted.
Good to be back, mate. Good to be back. It's been a while. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
Things have happened, but yeah, don't want to moan about what's happened. Just want to look forward. Buzzing to be back, mate. Buzzing to get this official and announced and locked in.
I was going to say, it must be. Is it a relief? Would you say? Like now, when you've been out for so long, you are buzzing to have fight news. But is it more of a relief feeling? Thank God, I've got something to work for now. Yeah,
relief. You know, just saying then on an interview that not worked with Frank before, so Frank said to me, you know, I shook his hand, done a deal. If I'm going to tell him I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I went, all right, thanks. Then months went by. Months went by. Yeah. And my friend messaged me a rumour that Anto's fighting this person, Anto's fighting that. I was like, just ignore it. He's like, no. And then someone else messaged me, Anto's fighting this person. I thought you was fighting. I was like, listen, just keep it under control. Like, Frank's done a deal. And I text Frank, said, you sure, like, Frank? Like, I said, look, if I gave my word, I gave my word. Like, I promise you. I went, all right, sound. And then a few months went by. Then finally gets announced, and he's a man of his word. And yeah, great to work with.
I was going to say, for yourself over this period, as frustrating as it's been, obviously there was a large proportion of 2024 was focused on the Josh Warrington rematch, and I know that was a lot of a conversation, especially the first half of the year. There was potential dates for that. To not have that and have different. Was it ever a time where you sort of lost faith, or was like, I don't know what direction I'm going in?
Yeah, but that's boxing. That happens all the time. Twists and turns with opponents and possible dates and venues and all sorts. But after the Warrington fight, I pretty much agreed the rematch, where and when, and the money and everything was sorted, and then I got injured and things changed, and then time went without speaking. Then we got a new offer for it. Leigh took a long time down the line after that, and I probably still wasn't quite ready for it, and was messing around a little bit. But yeah, then obviously Warrington popped up to fight Cacace, and I was like, I want that fight. I want the Cacace fight. How can you get it before me?
Yeah.
So I actually got into talks to fight him, and then my team was like, you're not even going to be ready, like, you're not 100% ready. I was like, no, I'll be ready. But they're like, no, you're not. And they was right, I wouldn't have been ready. So thankfully, you know, my team were there to look after me, and that's what they did. And very frustrating for me though, because I wanted to fight, but I wouldn't have been ready. Then obviously got to the tail end of last year, getting the right opponent, and Anto's that man.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there difficulty, especially as a fighter with yourself, where you do see, like, especially opportunities now, when you saw, like, Cacace fighting Warrington at Wembley Stadium, you would have loved to have been in that position. There would have been so much, like, to be sitting on the sidelines where you see the boxing moving on so much. Was it ever difficult for yourself? Was that the hardest part?
Very difficult, especially seeing someone that was knocked out take my opportunity because I was injured and not ready for it. Yeah, it was hard, but like I said earlier to someone, I'm not going to moan about it because there's a lot worse people in worse situations, a lot more going off. I'm not going to be moaning about it, you know. Just focus on going forward and buzzing to be back, buzzing to have it announced, and a fight that everyone can get excited about, especially myself.
100%. And although obviously Cacace is the super featherweight and he is the world champion, so it still holds the IBO, it's home advantage for yourself in Nottingham. Nottingham, Belfast again after how good it was the first time. Yeah, some nice connotations around this one.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to be excited. The atmosphere is going to be unbelievable, as always. And it was never an option for me. It was always going to be in my own city. Coming off my biggest domestic win, well, my biggest win, and beating my domestic rival in Sheffield. Wasn't as good. Like, it was good, but like, I want to be in my own city. I want to go and celebrate. Do you know what I mean? There was the Conlon fight as well, which, because I hurt him and I didn't know if I'd like really done some damage to him, I couldn't really celebrate that night. So that was kind of robbed of me. The Law rematch was in Manchester, so that wasn't amazing. So, you know what I mean? Like, this is going to be the one where I can get the win and enjoy it. So. Yeah.
For this fight as well, with Queensbury, first fight for a while not being with Matchroom, is that a bit of a weird feeling? Like, what was that like, that transition where you're like, okay, I'm not with Eddie Hearn or Matchroom anymore?
Not really. Obviously, things are different. It's probably a bit more exciting because it's new. There's all new things, new people. You know, new people taking photos, new people talking to. Interviews are still the same, but like, it's just a little bit new. It's a little bit different, but. It's the same ring, the same lights, the same crowd, the same arena. And in that respect, it's going to be exactly the same.
For yourself there, where you mentioned fighting in Manchester, Sheffield, and a big thing for yourself was not getting that City Ground fight that we'll touch on in a little bit. Not putting your words in your mouth, but was there part of you that was frustrated?
Yeah, but it's nobody's fault. Like people are looking like to point the fingers. Oh, it's the club's fault. Or it's Matchroom's fault. It's Eddie's fault. It's no one's fault. Like there's so many things that go around that fight that need to line up. Me beating my biggest domestic rival beforehand was probably the worst thing I could have done, because that fight would have been a city ground fight. But then the time didn't line up. And then the rematch, I tried to get a bit that didn't line up because that took the spot, the days, and you know, you need a lot of luck, and I just didn't get it to line up, and it's hard, so hard to get it to work. And with this fight, the timing of it worked, but the opponent probably not so much. You know, you need someone that's in England really with a big fan base, and Warrington was that person, but not Anto. So you know, I can't moan about it because it was no one's fault. You know, you just need a lot of luck, and I didn't get it.
Do you think that luck comes? Do you think there's any chance now? Like, I know you've been open to potentially the career like is sort of coming to a close, but is there any chance it happens?
I can't just year by year keep saying next year.
Yeah,
next year,
of course, yeah.
Walk to the ring on my Zimmer free.
Yeah,
I've got it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. We'll see. Like, I take it fight by fight. Since I joined Ben and Lee and Barry, like. I always said it's fight by fight. Like, we don't get ahead of ourselves. We don't plan 4 fights ahead, 2 fights ahead. I don't know how many more fights I'm going to have. I'm just focused on this fight, focused on winning, most importantly, which I'm confident in doing so. But it is fight by fight, and we'll see what's next. If there's a next, we'll see. You know, it's fight by fight.
How does it feel for yourself to this not really being for the IBF? Like, I know we had Sugar Nunes. Is that a bit annoying? Like, because you'd want to be a 2-weight world champion, but
yeah, but it's more the person. Though he's won that belt and he hasn't been beat. So for me, he's IBF champion. He's not so much. He's legitimate world champion. Not because of what belt it is, but because of who he's beaten, what he's done. So you know, look at Conor Benn and Eubank. What belts on the line? Can you tell me? Because I can't tell you.
No belts.
It's just a great fight.
So
same with this, is a great fight. Regardless of the belt, you know what he's done and what I've done. It's a big fight.
Yeah. How do you feel? How do you think you'll feel at Super Feather?
A lot fresher. I might even be able to do an interview on the weighing day.
Yeah, that's saying something. Yeah. When that as well, like when you're training, you know, you'll be training obviously heavier anyway, and do you feel like, especially when it comes to, you know, punch power and punch transitioning up, do you think that, you know, we could even see a more powerful Leigh Wood, especially when you haven't got that depletion, I guess, to 126
I think
pounds?
you'll see me carry my weight up and being a lot fresher and probably a little bit more explosive. But training wise, you know, I'll be probably training at the same very similar weight to what I trained at, because my cut was so big for that weight. I don't want to go higher, than my cut will be the same because it's only 4 pounds. So I'll be training at a similar weight to what I did at that weight, but my cut will be reduced, which will make me fresher on fight night. So
just before I do sign off, last time Nottingham Belfast we had a war. Are we going to have that on the 10th of May 2025?
Can you tell me a Leigh Wood fight when you don't get that? You don't get excitement, you don't get drama, you don't get twists and turns. So you know what to expect. Tune in May 10th.
Absolutely. I look forward to it, Leigh. Top man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Mate. Cheers.